Welcome back. We're debating whether Pakistan's IT industry has lived up to its potential. This is the hot seat segment where I will cross-examine our guests for 2 minutes at a time. We'll start with you, Dr. Matin. You are the CEO of Cisco Systems. When an average Pakistani hears the word Cisco, he's thinking foreign company, takes away our brain, puts in some money, takes away a lot more money. How do you respond?
I'd say if he indeed thinks that, then he thinks wrong.
And why is that?
Seriously wrong. The reason is that Cisco has actually been the forerunner or the front runner in fact, the company that has invented the internet, the products that run the internet, routers and switches.
The last time I heard that, Al Gore had to eat his words, but go on.
I think in this particular case,
okay.
I will not. We now have in Pakistan, we have a long-running program called the Net Acad program, where
which sends people abroad,
which actually trains people, and in fact, anybody in the networking industry in Pakistan has been through that program. The CCI certification, which is their topmost certification, they end up leaving. Yes, they end up leaving for very highly paid jobs, and they also end up coming back a few years down the road.
But you don't ensure that, and that's only started happening very recently.
Not really.
And for reasons which have nothing to do with your policies.
Not at all. But if you had not trained these people, then they would not have been able to take care of the infrastructure that you need today in the country.
So why don't you move a step further and
Correct.
After training them, provide them with incentives to stay?
We do. So at the same time that we train people for the industry as a whole, we also
train people. So your incentives
people.
Started working a lot more after 9/11 for some reason.
The reason, of course, is simple. If the economy grows, then we will also grow. If the economy does not grow, then you will not see companies like Cisco show as much interest as they have been doing. It's the money, as they say, money makes the mayor go round. If you don't have the economy in place, you will not have either our company or other companies take as much interest as they are taking in Pakistan today. And I think that says a lot for not just our company, but for the overall IT industry as well.
I think the essence of a lot of what you've argued has been that the government has little or no role in the IT industry. Is that correct?
That's
well, if that is correct, you were an advisor to the Ministry of Information Technology.
Correct.
So do you think you wasted your time there?
Not at all. I think we actually managed to steer the course of the
So there was a role
direction. There was a role. And the role, of course, is, as has been pointed out, is not on short-term issues, is to ensure that your country's development is on track from a longer-term perspective. You need to invest in education, you need to invest in creativity and other issues.
So once you put the basics right, now you're saying the role...
Now the role becomes much more diminished than what it would have been perhaps in the past. So moving on, I do not believe at all that the government has too much of a role to play in the
Dr. Matin, thank you very much. That's the hot seat segment for you.
Thank you.
And we'll move to you, Mr. Hashmi. You're running a successful Pakistani concern, SI3. But as far as, which means that you have more ownership and more to answer for when it comes to the local industry. We've seen a drop in spite of, a lot of skilled, professionals, I wouldn't say labor obviously, coming back to the country. And yet our exports have not skyrocketed at all. The trend that was moving towards your industry, it has been arrested. That trend is, in fact, more than being arrested. I think it has been reversed. So how do you respond to these negative trends?
One is the expat